I want to stay positive on this channel, but for the last few days I felt a bit lost, a bit directionless actually. And then there's been this sort of anxiety sitting in the background that I can't quite shake. I thought I'd just talk about it because I have a feeling that I'm not the only one going through this. An overwhelming anxiousness today. Each day I try to be positive, and it's nice coming out with my girl here, but I keep worrying about being able to afford for us going into the future. Things are just going up so much in price, and getting, well, virtually no work, and I just fear for the future at the moment, and I just don't know what to do about it. I'm trying this Shopify idea, and whilst it does, tax my imagination and give me something to do, I do realise that it's a bit pie in the sky, because there's so many mugs and t-shirts, and everybody can use AI to create such things. So again, that's something else. I think you need to find a niche, something specific. But most of the gurus on YouTube say, just do this. Get a Canva account, use a template, whack it on a t-shirt, put it in a Shopify store, make hundreds, and there you are. You're going to make loads and loads of money. I don't think that's true for 1 second. I think the only people who make loads of money are people who tell people how to make loads of money. So I'm still searching, trying to figure out where I can fit in, what I can do. Like I said, I'm finding it hard to even find a part-time job. I mean, nobody really wants an ancient being toddling around in their premises. I'm feeling very, very down today. I try to be positive all the time, but it just wears you out. Trying this, trying that. I don't know where to go, and this is a little strange discovery I've come across on my local park. I was wondering if there's other people in a similar situation to myself. So yesterday I went onto my computer and I asked Chat GPT if there's any like groups or social places I could go to with like-minded people who feeling in the same way, or maybe they're in the 60s, they're struggling a bit with life and trying to figure out where to go, and trying to figure out if there's more to this, or if this is just it. And it came back with a few suggestions. So I went onto it, clicked onto the link, and it says before you can join or get involved in one-to-one chat or group chats with people, you know, to discuss issues and how you feel, you have to fill in a questionnaire. And so I clicked it. The first page was, I thought, well, this is enough. It asks for your name, date of birth, address, phone number and email. And I thought, well, okay, perhaps that's just because they want to know that you're a genuine person. Then I clicked onto the next page and it asked a whole bunch of questions, and, you know, such things like ethnicity, sexual orientation, and I mean, that went into some depth. I mean, some things I didn't even understand. And it also asked about any medical history with, you know, information it wanted. It asked about your doctor, your doctor's address. Have you got any psychological issues? Do you, I mean, I posed these questions back to ChatGPT and I said, don't you think this is a bit intrusive? For just, all I want to do is just have a chat in a social group and just see how people are coping with, you know, being in your 60s in an AI world without a job, and trying to find out what you can do going forwards. You know, if other people, you know, it's said that if you talk to other people, you can sometimes get comfort in that. And this is what I was aiming for, just some social connection, just to see or feel that I'm not isolated and not alone in all of this. And when I showed all these extra questions to ChatGPT, I said that, to me, this just seems just too intrusive. It's almost like they want to put you on some kind of watch list, the questions I was asking, and all these details. And it came back with, yeah, it does seem a bit over the top, and it said you're right to be concerned. And, you know, this big brother situation, it's just getting out of hand. I mean, everything you try and look at and do, they just want to collect so much data. I mean, all the data that was asking for me there was completely irrelevant to what I wanted. So I stopped working on that form and came away from that website. All I want to do is try and figure out, you know, if there's another way forward or something else I can do, because it seems to me that sometimes I wake up and I think, is this it? Is this everything now? Am I just going to be constantly struggling to try and feed us, just getting more and more lost as AI advances more and more and just leaves me behind? I'm here today, I'm just trying to figure out just how to get this overwhelming feeling of anxiety away. And there is something I'm going to try. I just met a chap on a walk, and he has a similar dog to mine, and we got talking. He asked me if I was on YouTube, not on YouTube, he asked me if I use YouTube, watch YouTube, and I says, yeah. And he says, try looking up Alpha and look at a series of documentaries produced by Alpha. And I've sort of like made a note of it, so when I get back I'm going to look at that. They keep saying you have to find your niche, find a problem, and then solve that problem. Well, I don't really have a niche. I can find many problems, but strangely enough, I've not really figured out how to solve them. So this is me finding a problem and trying to figure out how to solve it. And maybe I don't know if there's any of you out there feeling in the same way, just feeling lost, feeling like every day's the same. You get up, you struggle, and you just wonder what it's all about. And I remember being young. I remember having a career, a business, and every day was a day of action. I had things to do. I felt like I was somebody, and I just thought it would go on forever, but it didn't go on forever. And now I'm in a position where every day I get up, and every day's, you could say every day's an adventure, but every day's a problem really. I'm trying to figure out what to do going forwards, and I have no solution at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check out this series of Alpha films. It didn't really go into a great deal about them, but again, like he said, he didn't want to preach to me. He just mentioned that he knows what I'm going through, he's been there, and he finds solace and comfort in what he's discovered and what he's been through. And he just says that, I hope that it might help you. So yeah, so okay, this video is more about a problem without a solution, but I may have a solution. I actually left the guy feeling a bit more positive, and he was upbeat, positive, said he'd been where I've been, and he could see, he actually said to me, he said, I can see that you're carrying a big weight, there's a lot of trauma and a lot of, loss. And I did say to him, yeah, I just feel completely lost. I feel invisible, and I felt invisible for quite a while. And it's not just because of my lack of height. I often get teased about that. If I mention to people I feel invisible, they say, well, we're not surprised really, being that height. But it's more than that. It's just having no identity anymore. I have no profession to say of. I just don't feel like I don't feel like I actually contribute anything. But I'm gonna, because he was so positive and he said it changed his life, I'm actually going to look into that film series on YouTube called Alpha and just see if it does help. Anyhow, I'll update you on that. I'm sorry there's no solution to feeling lost and invisible, but, well, nobody really watches this channel. The main reason I do it is it helps me to try and figure out who I am and where I'm going. It's sort of like, it helps me look into things a bit more actually. It's some kind of purpose, I suppose. I suppose I could get up, mope around, do nothing, but I think that actually making use of my equipment, finding little places like this, coming out with my dog, plonking the camera on some wooden trestle and using it, and the fact that I'm openly discussing things to, well, effectively nobody, I can pretend I've got an audience, maybe pretend that somewhere out there someone might just write back with some ideas. That would be nice, to actually talk to other people who are in a similar situation. I mean, especially if you've figured out something to do or got some advice, that would be nice. Anyway, I'm going to continue my walk now, because this young lady wants to run around a bit more, don't you, girl? Hey? Is that right? Want to run around? Stop putting your bum in my face. What's all this about, eh? What's all that about? Come on then, girl. Shall we go? Shall we go? Good girl.